Haru returned to his grandmother's village during summer vacation. Rice fields shimmered beneath heat waves and cicada songs. His sister Aya drove while grandmother Fumiko waited outside. Fumiko tied white thread around both children's wrists immediately. She warned them never to answer distant laughing sounds. Haru assumed the warning belonged to another village superstition. That evening, a low voice echoed beyond the fields. It repeated two soft syllables between the rustling stalks. Aya heard nothing, but Haru watched something rise. A pale hat floated higher than every scarecrow nearby. A towering woman stepped between the moonlit rice rows. Her white dress never touched mud or bending plants. She covered her face beneath an enormous summer hat. Each quiet laugh made nearby utility poles tremble slightly. Haru froze when she turned directly toward him. Fumiko dragged him indoors and locked every wooden shutter. She covered mirrors using newspapers printed with temple prayers. Aya demanded answers while the tall shadow crossed windows. Fumiko said Haru had been noticed before sunset. Once noticed, no locked door could protect him forever. The family prepared a sealed room beside the altar. Salt bowls guarded corners while candles burned without smoke. Haru entered carrying water, food, and one handbell. Fumiko instructed him never to open the door alone. 3 monks arrived before midnight wearing straw traveling coats. They placed cedar boxes around the sealed room's foundation. Each box contained hair from an earlier missing child. Aya recognized one braid from their vanished cousin Natsumi. Fumiko admitted Natsumi disappeared during Aya's childhood summer. Nobody had spoken her name since that terrible night. Outside, the tall woman circled the house without footsteps. Her hat brushed upstairs windows despite the locked gate. She called using Mother's voice, asking Haru for help. Haru squeezed the handbell but refused answering the call. The voice changed into Aya's frightened crying from outside. Yet Aya remained seated beside Fumiko in the hallway. One monk whispered that imitation meant the barrier weakened. Another discovered white thread unraveling around Haru's wrist. The final monk vanished while checking the northern shutter. His straw coat returned folded beneath Haru's door. At dawn, the woman retreated beyond the rice fields. The family found enormous footprints ending beside Natsumi's memorial. Each footprint contained water reflecting an unfamiliar summer sky. Aya photographed them, but every image showed Haru alone. Fumiko burned the photographs before their reflections moved further. She revealed the woman once guarded abandoned village children. During famine, families left unwanted daughters beside roadside shrines. The guardian grew taller while carrying their unanswered grief. Later, villagers feared her and erased the shrine completely. Natsumi had found its buried bell beneath the fields. Ringing that bell invited the guardian to choose someone. Natsumi rang it while playing with Aya years earlier. Aya lied afterward, claiming Natsumi wandered away alone. The family's silence chained Natsumi's memory to the woman. Now Haru carried the same face their cousin remembered. Aya broke down, confessing everything before the household altar. The confession made one covered mirror crack downward sharply. Inside the crack, Natsumi stood beneath the giant hat. She pointed toward the old irrigation path beyond town. Fumiko realized the buried shrine still existed underground. They left before sunset carrying bells, thread, and lanterns. The monks refused joining after losing their companion overnight. Aya guided Haru through paddies where scarecrows faced backwards. Every path returned them toward the same stone marker. Haru rang his handbell once and hidden steps appeared. The steps descended beneath roots, mud, and ancient offerings. At the bottom waited a shrine smaller than expected. Its ceiling displayed handprints reaching toward a painted sky. Natsumi's braid rested across the altar's broken bronze bell. Behind them, the tall woman's laughter filled the stairway. Fumiko ordered Aya to return the stolen buried bell. Aya placed Natsumi's braid beside it and apologized aloud. The towering woman bent impossibly through the narrow entrance. Her hat scraped the ceiling, releasing dust like snowfall. Haru saw many children's silhouettes beneath her white dress. None appeared injured, each simply waited to be named. Aya began reciting names from forgotten village memorial stones. Every spoken name released one silhouette into golden fireflies. The woman grew shorter as the gathered children departed. Then Natsumi appeared, still holding Aya's childhood hand. Natsumi said the guardian never kidnapped anyone willingly. She sheltered children whose families chose silence over truth. The vanished monk stood nearby, ashamed but completely unharmed. He had forgotten his own name after entering alone. Haru spoke the monk's name from his prayer tag. His memory returned as the white thread tightened again. Only Natsumi remained beneath the shrinking summer hat. Aya asked forgiveness, promising to restore every erased memorial. Natsumi smiled, then placed the bronze bell with Haru. She warned the guardian would follow whoever kept lying. The underground shrine collapsed when morning light entered suddenly. Everyone escaped through paddies glowing beneath the coming sunrise. Behind them, the tall woman stood at normal height. She bowed once before walking beside Natsumi into mist. Village elders resisted Aya's story during an emergency meeting. Fumiko displayed records hidden inside the family altar compartment. They listed abandoned children across several generations of famine. The village restored their names beside the rebuilt shrine. Aya publicly admitted causing Natsumi's disappearance through frightened silence. Haru rang the bronze bell during the memorial ceremony. For months, the rice fields remained peaceful after sunset. No towering hat appeared above the swaying summer stalk. The missing monk returned home, remembering every forgotten prayer. Aya placed Natsumi's photograph beside the village memorial register. This time, the picture showed both girls holding hands. Fumiko removed white thread from Haru's wrist during autumn. She said remembered grief no longer needed a guardian. Haru kept the bronze bell locked inside his desk. It never rang except during nights of heavy heat. Each ringing sounded closer than the previous summer night. 1 year later, Haru returned for another vacation. New houses covered parts of the restored rice fields. Construction workers had moved the memorial stones without permission. Several names were missing from the rebuilt wooden tablets. At sunset, cicadas stopped while utility poles trembled again. Haru saw the pale hat beyond the newest rooftops. The woman now towered higher than before, carrying shadows. Beside her stood Natsumi, pointing toward Haru's house. The bronze bell began ringing inside his locked suitcase. This time, Aya answered the distant laugh before Haru.
Apartment 7B was found locked from inside on a rainy Monday. Its tenant, Kenzo Mori, lay dead beside the small dining table. There were no wounds, no broken locks, and no intruder's trace. Police called it impossible because every window was sealed shut. A young reporter named Rina arrived before sunrise with her camera. She specialized in strange local crimes and unsolved apartment legends. The building itself was old, narrow, and permanently damp inside. Neighbors whispered that 7B had always sounded occupied after midnight. Yet Kenzo lived there alone and rarely spoke to anyone. Rina interviewed the residents while detectives photographed the tiny room. Everyone repeated the same detail: the body moved each night. Security footage showed sealed police tape, but changing shadows within. At midnight, Kenzo's body seemed closer to the bedroom door. By dawn, it faced the window, though nobody entered inside. Police suspected tampering, but the hallway camera never cut once. Rina requested permission to spend the night in the building. Her editor agreed, hoping for either fraud or something unbelievable. Across from 7B, apartment 7A had been vacant for years. The landlord reluctantly gave Rina a key and one warning. He said the vents between units carried voices strangely at night. Rina entered 7A with recording gear, flashlights, and floor maps. The apartment smelled stale, as though nobody breathed there anymore. Thin walls separated 7A from the sealed investigation room next door. At 11:43, she heard one chair scrape across the floor. It came from 7B, though the room was under evidence lock. Rina pressed her ear to the wall and heard breathing. Then came a knock 3 times from inside the dead man's room. She checked the hallway and found the police seal untouched. Detectives returned briefly, confirmed everything secure, then left again frustrated. Rina noticed a vent grill high near the kitchen ceiling. Old building plans revealed air shafts running between every apartment. One shaft ended in a maintenance crawl space behind 7B's walls. Crawling there required removing rusted screws and squeezing through plaster dust. Rina entered after midnight, dragging her small camera behind her. The shaft carried whispers, but none sounded like ordinary speech. From a crack, she saw 7B's table and taped floor. Kenzo's body still lay there, exactly where police had placed him. But in the room's wardrobe mirror, another angle showed movement. A standing figure appeared reflected near the bedroom entrance silently. Rena turned away from the crack, breathing hard in darkness. The shaft walls were scratched with names and apartment numbers. One name matched a missing child from 20 years earlier. Another matched a woman who vanished after a fire downstairs. Rena realized many disappearances were linked to this building alone. Returning to 7A, she reviewed footage from the crawl space immediately. The reflected figure behind Kenzo was not visible to her eyes. Only the camera had captured its outline near the mirror. It looked like a person wearing Kenzo's own apartment slippers. Rena investigated old tenant records stored in the basement office. Several units, including 7B, once belonged to one family. That family disappeared after reporting footsteps inside the walls nightly. Their final complaint mentioned breathing vents and someone behind the wallpaper. Back upstairs, Rena found her own room door slightly open. Inside 7A, her recorder was playing while nobody stood nearby. A voice whispered, "He lets them borrow the room at night." Rena traced the sound to the shared vent above the sink. When she shined her flashlight, two eyes vanished deeper inside. She called detectives, but the line filled with sharp interference. Meanwhile, the camera in 7B showed Kenzo now standing upright. Rena froze, then ran across the corridor toward the locked door. The police seal remained unbroken, yet footsteps sounded inside clearly. From under the door came damp air and quiet shuffling. She peered through the keyhole and saw the room empty. Only the wardrobe mirror reflected Kenzo standing behind the table. Detectives finally returned and opened 7B before dawn nervously. The body lay again on the floor facing the window. Rena showed them the footage, but one clip was missing. The file containing the standing reflection had erased itself completely. Still, dust on the floor showed fresh slipper marks around the room. In the wardrobe, officers found an old hidden maintenance hatch. It connected to wall cavities large enough for someone to crouch. Yet no living person could explain the locked room movements recorded. Rena published her article, but one photograph unsettled everyone deeply. Behind her in 7A's mirror stood Kenzo, alive and watching. Readers flooded comments with stories from former residents of the building. Many claimed they heard furniture dragging in empty apartments upstairs. 1 week later, apartment 7A was rented to a new tenant. On his first night, the hallway camera saw Rena enter 7B. She had not visited the building again and was home asleep. By morning, both apartment doors were locked from the inside. By daylight, Inunaki Tunnel looked abandoned, silent, and almost harmless. At night, local drivers claimed the tunnel swallowed voices, headlights, and directions. 4 university friends decided to film the place during a summer storm. Mika laughed the loudest, even while gripping her phone too tightly. The warning sign near the road had been scratched beyond recognition. No streetlights remained, only wet trees leaning toward the narrow tunnel mouth. Their car stopped outside, and the rain grew louder on the roof. One friend suggested leaving, but Mika insisted they had come too far. They entered the tunnel, filming walls covered in damp stains and moss. Their footsteps echoed strangely, as if another group walked behind them. Mika heard a girl whisper her name, though nobody stood nearby. The camera lights flickered, and the air became suddenly colder inside. Halfway through, they found old offerings, wilted flowers, coins, and broken toys. One toy phone began ringing softly, though it had no batteries. Mika answered as a joke and heard only desperate breathing. When she turned around, the others were farther away than before. She ran toward them, but the tunnel seemed much longer now. A figure appeared at the far end, blocking the pale exit light. It looked like a woman still soaked and facing the wall. Mika called to her friends, but their voices sounded muffled and distant. The flashlight beam caught dozens of handprints pressed into the concrete. Some prints were tiny, others looked clawed, all of them wet. Then the car horn screamed outside, long broken and terrified. Mika sprinted out, but emerged alone into the rain and mud. The car remained parked, doors open, cameras dropped, friends nowhere visible. Police searched the forest until dawn, finding no trace of anyone. 3 days later, Mika walked home barefoot, pale and completely silent. Her mother embraced her, but Mika did not return the gesture. Doctors found no injuries, yet Mika never answered a single question. Each night at 2:17, she sat facing the dark backyard fence. She seemed to listen, as if someone whispered from beyond it. Investigators checked road cameras, expecting proof of the missing friend's arrival. Instead, every recording showed Mika driving alone through the mountain road. Photos from the trip changed too, leaving only empty space beside her. Social media posts remained, but every tagged friend had disappeared. School records still existed, though faces were blurred on printed pages. One officer visited the tunnel again and heard a ringing phone inside. He followed the sound but returned shaken and refused to speak. Mika began drawing the tunnel endlessly, always adding one extra doorway. That doorway never appeared in any real map of the structure. Her mother found muddy footprints leading from Mika's room to the yard. They were smaller than Mika's feet and ended at the fence. On the wood, someone had scratched 4 short names repeatedly. By morning, 3 names were gone, leaving only Mika's untouched. When questioned about the scratches, Mika only blinked and looked away. At 2:17 again, the family phone rang, though no number appeared. Mika answered immediately as if she had been waiting all day. From the receiver came tunnel echoes, dripping water and familiar laughter. For the first time, Mika smiled, but not like herself. Her mother grabbed the phone, yet heard nothing except wind. The next day, Mika began speaking one sentence over and over. She said they were still inside and the tunnel wanted room. Police reopened the case and returned underground with stronger lights. Near the deepest section, they found 4 old-school bracelets together. 3 belonged to the missing friends, 1 still carried Mika's name. Yet Mika was at home, sitting motionless before the backyard fence. The tunnel report listed the bracelets as impossible evidence, then vanished. That evening, Mika's reflection remained smiling after she stopped smiling. Her mother saw it first in the kitchen window at dusk. The reflected Mika lifted one hand, though the real girl stayed still. Rain began again and muddy water spread beneath the back door. When her father checked outside, he found no footprints this time. Instead, he heard 4 sets of footsteps circling the house slowly. Every room light flickered when Mika looked toward the hallway mirror. In the mirror, 3 soaked figures stood behind her shoulder. They had no eyes, only dark hollows and dripping hair. Mika whispered their names, then pressed her forehead to the glass. Her parents tried pulling her away, but the mirror felt warm. A school counselor visited and recognized one figure from an old yearbook. That student had disappeared near Inunaki Tunnel 20 years earlier. The counselor then noticed another figure wearing the same bracelet style. Mika finally wrote a note, because speaking seemed suddenly difficult. It read they let me leave because I brought the door home. The family searched her room and found damp mud beneath the bed. Hidden there was a cracked tunnel tile, cold and slick. At 2:17 that night, the house phones rang together upstairs. Mika stood before the hallway mirror and touched the glass again. This time, the surface rippled, revealing the tunnel behind her reflection. 3 missing friends waited inside, smiling the same borrowed smile. Mika stepped forward, while her reflection stepped backward into darkness.
Mika discovered the strange pop-up inside a campus forum. It appeared beneath homework files at 2:17. The small red window contained one blinking white question. She closed it, but another window opened behind. Each new window showed her bedroom from outside somehow. Rain tapped glass, although forecasts promised perfectly clear skies. Mika unplugged her laptop, yet the screen remained bright. A girl's silhouette appeared behind Mika inside the webcam. She turned around, finding only her locked apartment door. Then the red window typed Mika's full name slowly. Campus rumors called it the Red Room question. Students who answered disappeared before the following sunrise. Mika dismissed the story until Haruto stopped replying completely. His final message contained only a red square image. Police found Haruto's dorm unlocked, warm, and completely empty. Every mirror inside reflected a narrow crimson classroom. Mika visited the computer club searching for archived messages. Old terminals booted themselves when she entered alone. Each monitor displayed Haruto seated inside another room. He pressed silently against glass that did not exist. Mika tried calling him through the dormant club microphone. Haruto heard her and pointed toward the ceiling camera. The camera lens leaked red light across dusty desks. A hidden folder appeared, dated 19 years earlier. It contained recordings from the university's demolished music annex. One video showed children rehearsing during a nighttime blackout. A fire alarm flashed, but no teacher returned. Among the children stood a girl wearing red. She stared directly through the recording toward Mika. The pop-up opened again, asking whether Mika remembered Yui. Mika searched yearbooks and found Yui Nakamori missing. Officials claimed Yui transferred shortly before the annex fire. No transfer records existed, only a sealed disciplinary report. The report named Kondo and one locked practice room. Kondo still worked nights beneath the rebuilt computer wing. He denied knowing Yui, yet dropped his master key. The key carried a scorched red ribbon around it. Mika photographed the ribbon before Kondo snatched it back. Her photo revealed several children standing behind him. Each child's face was covered by a red rectangle. That night, Mika returned with Haruto's emergency flashlight. All campus doors locked automatically at 2:17. The computer wing stretched longer than its daytime corridor. Classroom numbers repeated while exit signs pointed inward. Mika followed faint piano notes beneath humming red lights. She found Kondo unlocking a wall without visible seams. Behind it waited the burned music room, perfectly preserved. Haruto sat at a piano, unable to see Mika. Yui stood beside him, holding a cracked attendance sheet. Every missing student's name appeared beneath hers in red. Mika entered, and the wall sealed immediately behind. The room contained no windows, doors, or usable shadows. Haruto played one note whenever the pop-up blinked. Yui explained the room existed between unanswered emergency calls. During the fire, children called repeatedly from inside. Kondo silenced the alarm to hide his smoking violation. Teachers believed everyone had already left the annex. Yui kept calling until smoke erased her voice. The university deleted recordings, reports, and every witness statement. That forgetting transformed the unanswered calls into a room. Anyone dismissing Yui's question became trapped beside her. The pop-up never asked about fear, blood, or death. It asked whether forgotten people deserved to be remembered. Haruto had clicked yes, entering the room willingly. He hoped recording Yui's story could free everyone. Instead, each retelling created another red digital window. Mika noticed the attendance sheet lacked Kondo's complete name. Yui could not remember the man who locked them. Without his name, the room blamed every viewer equally. Mika realized Kondo's confession could close the cursed archive. Kondo entered through the wall carrying a fire extinguisher. He ordered Mika to delete everything before sunrise. Yui's eyes darkened and every piano key depressed. Red windows opened across walls, floor, and ceiling. Each screen showed Kondo abandoning children during the fire. He screamed that nobody could prove those recordings genuine. Mika activated the club's scheduled live stream using her phone. Thousands watched Kondo's confession appear across campus screens. Kondo lunged, but Haruto struck the final piano note. The preserved room began burning without heat or smoke. Yui handed Mika the attendance sheet as walls flickered. She asked Mika to read every child's name aloud. Each spoken name transformed one red window into daylight. Haruto regained his reflection after Mika spoke his name. Other missing students appeared behind opening classroom doors. Kondo's name finally emerged beneath the scorched red ribbon. Yui whispered at once, making the floor split. A dark corridor opened toward the real computer club. Mika dragged Haruto while digital flames followed their footsteps. Kondo remained behind, surrounded by repeating alarm lights. The wall reopened before campus generators restarted around them. Mika and Haruto collapsed beside normal humming computers. No hidden door remained beneath the security camera afterward. Police received the live stream, recordings, and Kondo's confession. Workers searched beneath the building during the following week. They uncovered the sealed practice room behind concrete panels. Inside rested burnt instruments and one child's red ribbon. No human remains appeared, only dozens of disconnected telephones. Every telephone rang once when Yui's name was spoken. The university publicly restored all erased memorial records. Haruto returned but refused using webcams after midnight. Mika archived Yui's files across several independent libraries. The red room pop-up vanished from every campus terminal. Students gathered beneath the memorial during a spring rain. A piano played softly, though nobody touched its keys. Mika believed Yui had finally left the digital room. Then Haruto found one corrupted frame inside their live stream. It showed Mika standing alone before the preserved classroom. Haruto himself appeared only as a red rectangle. Metadata claimed tomorrow's recording would begin at 2:17. Mika checked Haruto's dorm, finding his door unlocked again. His phone remained warm beside an unfinished apology message. Every mirror reflected Mika seated inside the Crimson Room. The pop-up returned on her disconnected laptop before midnight. This time, the question displayed Haruto's name, not Yui's. Mika clicked yes before another window could multiply. Her apartment lights turned red and piano music started. Across campus, Haruto awakened beside Yui's empty piano. He saw Mika behind glass, raising one warning finger. The window asked whether anyone still remembered Mika.
Setagaya, the killer who stayed. Tokyo, December 30th, 2000. The new year was only one day away. In Setagaya, the Miyazawa family returned from an ordinary shopping trip. Mikio worked in corporate design and loved animation and theatrical performance. Yasuko operated a small private learning school inside their home. Eight-year-old Nina enjoyed piano music and attending ballet lessons. 6-year-old Rei attended a public kindergarten in the Setagaya neighborhood. That evening, the family shared dinner and watched television together. Outside, Soshigaya Park becomes silent and almost completely deserted. Because of the park expansion, only 4 houses remained in the area. At around 11 that night, a figure appeared beyond the darkened park. No camera recorded his face or the exact path that he followed. Investigators believe the upstairs bathroom window may have been his entrance. Nobody knows where he came from or how long he watched the house. Inside, the lights remained on and the television continued playing. The quiet inside the family home was suddenly broken. What happened next could only be reconstructed from the evidence left behind. All 4 family members were killed, inside the place they called home. Most disturbingly, the intruder did not immediately flee from the house. He remained inside, allowing the minutes and hours to pass around him. Those unexplained hours transformed the crime into an especially haunting mystery. On December 31st, relatives were unable to contact the family. The doorbell was pressed repeatedly, but nobody responded from inside. The door opened into a house that was unnaturally and completely silent. Within minutes, police officers and emergency personnel were called to the residence. The area was sealed while the rest of Tokyo prepared for celebration. Inside, investigators realized this was not an ordinary home invasion. Several drawers had been opened and papers had been searched and scattered. Yet, several valuable possessions remained untouched inside the residence. If robbery was the motive, why had so many valuables been left behind? And why had the offender left behind an extraordinary record of himself? Evidence indicated that the intruder used several objects inside the family home. He opened the refrigerator and consumed food belonging to the family. He also used Mikio's computer after the family had been attacked. His behavior suggested little fear of being discovered immediately. The intruder appears to have treated injuries sustained on his own hands. Blood not belonging to the victims allowed police to identify his blood type. The offender's fingerprints and genetic material were also recovered from the scene. Police possessed biological clues, yet still had no name to attach to them. No available database match led investigators to an identifiable suspect. A man who left DNA, fingerprints and clothing still vanished without a trace. At the scene, police found a black AirTag jacket left behind. A grey knitted crusher hat with black trim also belonged to the intruder. He left a multicolored checked scarf whose sales origin remains uncertain. The bag's belt length suggested that the offender had a relatively slim waist. The bag's belt length suggested that the offender had a relatively slim waist. Slazenger shoes left footprints corresponding to approximately 27.5 centimeters. That shoe model was manufactured in South Korea and was uncommon in Japan. 2 black handkerchiefs were found, folded and altered in unusual ways. Police believe one handkerchief may have been used to conceal his face. Each abandoned object seemed to bring police closer, but never close enough. The most distinctive clue was a light gray and pale purple raglan shirt. Only 130 shirts of that type were sold throughout Japan. Only 10 were sold through 4 stores located within the Tokyo area. Police identified one owner, while the remaining 9 shirts stayed unaccounted for. Receipts and retail records from the year 2000 were far from complete. A customer could have paid in cash without leaving any identifying name. The shirt was exceptionally rare, yet its owner could not be identified. Police continue asking anyone connected to the shirt to provide information. Owning a similar shirt does not make someone a suspect in the case. Finding the remaining 9 could narrow the path leading toward the offender. Based on his clothing, police believe the offender was relatively young. His estimated height at the time was approximately 170 centimeters. The hip bag measurement suggested that he had a relatively slender build. Other evidence led investigators to believe that he was probably right-handed. The offender's blood recovered at the scene was identified as type A. He likely suffered injuries to his hands during the night of the crime. Police searched for people treated for unusual injuries after that night. Those injuries have long healed, and his physical appearance may have changed. Today, DNA and fingerprints remain the clues that cannot simply disappear. Police built a physical profile, but the most important detail remained missing: identity. The investigation became one of the largest criminal inquiries in modern Japan. Thousands of public tips were examined across years of continuous investigation. Former residents near the park were questioned about that winter night. Police searched for anyone who moved suddenly or disappeared after the crime. Clothing. Stores and distributors were examined across multiple Japanese prefectures. The uncommon shoes expanded inquiries toward people with connections to South Korea. An object's origin cannot establish the nationality of the person who used it. Theories involving foreigners, locals, or acquaintances remain unproven speculation. Without a clear motive, investigators could not effectively narrow the suspect pool. The more evidence accumulated, the central question became increasingly difficult to answer. Did he know the family or choose the house because it was isolated? Did he enter through the window or was he allowed through a door? Why did he carry personal items only to abandon them at the scene? Was he panic careless or deliberately creating misleading evidence? Why use the computer when every extra minute increased the chance of capture? Did he know nobody would arrive, or did he simply not care? His departure time and escape direction have never been conclusively established. He may have walked, boarded a train, or entered a waiting vehicle. There is no confession, direct eyewitness, or confirmed explanation for the motive. The case contains thousands of small answers, but lacks the one that matters. Many original investigators have retired, but the case has never been closed. DNA, fingerprints, and physical evidence remain preserved for future forensic technology. Every forensic advance may create another opportunity to revisit the evidence. Tokyo Police continued publicly requesting information from anyone who remembers. A reward of up to 20 million yen remains available for valuable information. Someone who remembers the shirt, shoes, or a stranger may hold the final clue. That witness may not realize how important their forgotten memory could be. For the relatives, this is not a mystery, but decades spent waiting for justice. The killer left Setagaya, but his physical traces remain in police custody. Until a name emerges, that house still holds the final night of 2000.
O boarded Tokyo's final train after another exhausting shift. Rain-streaked windows while fluorescent lights hummed overhead softly. Only 3 passengers remained inside the unusually silent carriage. Each stranger faced forward, holding identical black umbrellas tightly. The route display flickered between stations Aoi recognized immediately. Then every familiar name vanished beneath crawling white static. Her phone showed midnight despite several passing minutes already. A recorded announcement repeated the same station twice calmly. Nobody reacted when the train skipped her usual stop. Aoi pressed the emergency button, but nothing answered back. The windows reflected passengers who were not actually seated. One reflection turned slowly and raised a warning finger. Aoi spun around, finding the nearby seat completely empty. The train entered darkness longer than any Tokyo tunnel. Inside that darkness, distant festival drums began beating steadily. Every passenger opened their umbrellas beneath the carriage ceiling. Black rain dripped upward from each umbrella's wet fabric. Aoi backed away while the conductor's door slid open. A faceless, uniformed figure punched her ticket without speaking. The ticket now displayed one unfamiliar word: Kisaragi Station. The train stopped beside a platform buried in weeds. No buildings appeared beyond one rusted station sign nearby. Aoi stepped outside before the carriage doors slammed shut. The final train departed without lights, passengers, or sound. Her phone recovered signal, but displayed tomorrow's date strangely. Every map application placed her somewhere beyond Japan entirely. A broken clock above the platform showed exactly 12. Its second hand moved backward whenever Aoi breathed nearby. She shouted for help, hearing her voice return older. Then footsteps approached from behind the abandoned ticket gate. A teenage boy emerged carrying a cracked school satchel. He introduced himself as Ren and avoided every shadow. Ren claimed 3 nights had passed without any sunrise. His wristwatch insisted 17 years had vanished instead somehow. Aoi laughed nervously until Ren showed an old newspaper. The front page described his disappearance during summer vacation. His photograph matched him, including the cracked satchel, perfectly. Ren warned that Kisaragi collected travelers forgotten by others. People remained visible while someone still remembered their names. Afterward, the station slowly replaced them with obedient copies. Festival music drifted from rice fields beyond the platform. Ren insisted the drums always announced another arriving train. They crossed the tracks before distant headlights appeared suddenly. The rails felt warm, although the night remained freezing. Small footprints followed them, stopping whenever Aoi looked back. Ren led her toward a tunnel marked with ropes. Weathered paper charms covered cracks along its concrete entrance. Each charm carried a name scratched completely away. Inside, whispering voices recited Aoi's childhood mistakes softly. Ren begged her never to answer any familiar voice. A woman's call echoed ahead, sounding exactly like Mother. Aoi nearly replied before Ren covered her trembling mouth. The tunnel walls displayed doors from their former homes. Behind one door, Aoi saw her childhood bedroom waiting. Another showed Ren's parents setting dinner 17 years earlier. Ren touched the vision, and his fingers became transparent. Aoi pulled him away before the doorway swallowed him. The false rooms collapsed into blinking train windows. Masked passengers watched silently from behind every glass panel. At the tunnel's end stood a forgotten roadside shrine. Its stone foxes wore conductor caps and punched tickets. Ren placed their blank tickets beneath a cracked lantern. Blue flames revealed writing hidden beneath the station stamps. Aoi's ticket listed every promise she had postponed making. Ren's ticket contained only one sentence: "Nobody remembers me." The shrine bell rang, although neither traveler touched it. A station master appeared, wearing a smiling wooden mask. He offered safe passage for one remembered name only. Aoi refused, leaving Ren, angering the station master. The surrounding fox statues turned toward them simultaneously. Faraway rails screamed as another impossible train approached rapidly. The station master demanded Aoi surrender her final memory. Without memories, he promised, Kisaragi could never recognize her. Ren whispered that forgetting everything meant becoming another passenger. Aoi searched her phone for anything proving their existence. Most photographs now showed empty rooms and vacant platforms. One voice message remained from Aoi's worried mother yesterday. Her mother said Aoi's name repeatedly between frightened breaths. The recording made nearby weeds bend toward the phone. Ren realized remembered names could open temporary routes home. They hurried back while festival masks emerged from darkness. Dozens of copied passengers blocked the overgrown platform silently. Each copy wore Aoi's face with different empty expressions. Ren shouted her name, making several copies crack apart. Aoi answered with his name, restoring his fading hands. Together they repeated each other while reaching the tracks. The returning train arrived backward, sparks pouring from windows. Its doors opened onto a bright Tokyo morning carriage. However, the faceless conductor guarded the single empty seat. Oe played her mother's message through the station speakers. Her name echoed across weeds, tunnel, shrine, and rails. Every copied passenger collapsed into abandoned umbrellas at once. Ren charged forward, knocking the conductor's ticket punch away. Beneath its uniform, countless forgotten name tags writhed together. The conductor grabbed Ren, pulling years from his face. Aoi seized the ticket punch and stamped Ren's satchel. The old newspaper photograph suddenly gained today's printed date. Ren became solid again, but the doorway started shrinking. They ran toward Tokyo while the platform folded inward. The station master unmasked, revealing Aoi's older face. That future face begged her to remain and forget. Aoi crossed the doorway before hearing Ren fall behind. Aoi awakened alone inside her normal morning commuter train. No passengers remembered any midnight delay or strange station. Her phone showed only 7 minutes had passed overnight. Ren's cracked satchel rested quietly beside her shoes. Inside waited his newspaper clipping and newly stamped ticket. Aoi searched archives, fearing what she might discover. Ren had disappeared exactly 17 years before that morning. Aoi delivered the satchel and his mother recognized everything. The woman whispered Ren's name until sunrise filled windows. That evening, the old disappearance article changed without explanation. It now reported Ren returned home after 17 years. No photograph showed his current face beside the story. Aoi received one message from an unregistered number afterward. Ren thanked her, then warned Kisaragi still remembered them. Days later, train windows reflected a boy waving nearby. Her locked phone began playing station announcements each midnight. The final announcement always used Aoi's voice, not Ren's. Last night, it calmly announced Kisaragi as her destination.